What's going on, guys? This is Miasin. So today I will be going over the full set spoiler for Age of Overlord, including the rarities, of course, because I believe there's a lot to talk about, you know, if some of the cards are really worth it, and are you going to be playing them competitively, and are they better or worse than what we initially thought they would be. So yeah, like I said, a lot of cards to cover in Age of Overlord, because I want to say it's definitely one of the big sets out there. Anyways, I also want to cover some newer cards in, this is, hold on, it's Photon Hypernova, wait, what? No, Phantom Nightmare. I'm so stupid. So yeah, I will be covering some of these cards. So yeah, this is probably going to be a big video. But before this video starts, you already know the drill. Friendly reminder to smash the like and subscribe button. And now let's get right into it. Alrighty, so the first card is Rumple Tufel. It's a normal trap card. You can only use either the first or the second effect of this card's name once per turn. Declare one monster's card name. Neither player can special summon monsters with that original name for the rest of the turn except from the graveyard. This is actually pretty scary when you're going first and you have the knowledge of what your opponent's deck is. This is kind of like a dimensional barrier in the sense that it's a lingering floodgate, so there's nothing your opponent can do about it, but he can still revive it back from the grave, so there's kind of like an escape route built in this card, so it's not as unfair as the barrier in a way. So yeah, this card is still really good though, but it only covers one monster card name. But this card could be pretty nasty against purely when they only play like two different monsters. So you're pretty much guaranteeing that he can't summon either the dark one or the light one. But then they can just chain to this card and it's not gonna work because they have 50 billion quick play spells. So I don't know, and they can still win with only one of the kitties. And they can also still normal summon the monster that you called. This only covers special summons, so yeah, it's a cute card, but it's not as unfair again as the barrier. Anyways, you can banish this card from your grave and declare one monster card name. Neither player can activate the effects of monsters on the field with that original name for the rest of the turn. This is very interesting because you can go Foolish Goods, dump this card, and then banish it, and then call Expurely Noir, and then your opponent cannot activate the effect of Noir because it doesn't directly affect it, but rather affects the player. So you can actually see that with neither player can activate the effects of the monsters on the field with that original name. Very similar to the Clifford monster Neshadal Genius. That's how it works, actually. So yeah, very interesting card, but I want to say it's just mid. Yeah, it's kind of mid, honestly. It's not bad, it's not great, it's just okay. This one right here is a Goblin Paratrooper Squad, level 4 Wind Warriors, 0 attack, 2k defense. Very funny because that's the exact opposite of the usual Goblin squads. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name once per turn. If this card is special summoned from the hand at attack position, you can target one effect monster your opponent controls, change this card to defense. So again, just like the other Goblin squads. Also negate that target's effect while this card is in face of defense. Alright, does this card at least special summon itself from your hand? If a monster is special summoned to your opponent's field while this card is in your grave, you can discard one card, add this card to your hand. See this? Instead of adding this card back from the graveyard to the hand, it should have special summoned itself from the graveyard to the field, just like Token Collector. That would have been nice, but yeah, no. So this card just doesn't do anything unless you're pendulum summoning it, and even then it's not fantastic. So I am not a fan of this card. It's gimmicky and not really good. This card could be good. Hold on a second, Pendulum Witch. So nice support as a V-Jump promo as well. Level 3, Pendulum skill of 8, and it does have the word Pendulum in it, so it's searchable by a bunch of cards, including Duelist Alliance. You can only use the Pendulum effect of this card's name once per turn if a face-up fusion, synchro, and or Xyz monster you control is destroyed by battle, or an opponent's card effect while this card is in your Pendulum zone. You can add one Pendulum monster with the same original type as one of those monsters from your deck to your extra deck face-up. Not a big fan. You're not really going +1. You're just stacking a card in your extra deck face-up, but since we got like Master Rule 4, this mechanic is just not as good anymore, so it's whatever. And then the monster effect, you can only use the first monster effect of this card's name once per turn. If this card is normal or pendulum summoned, you can target one card in your pendulum zone, destroy both it and this card, and if you do, add one level 4 lower pendulum monster from your deck to your hand. Okay, it's definitely not too bad. You can search for anything, but like, unless you're using this as your normal summon, you're not really plussing off of searching something from your deck to your hand. It's again not bad at all. There's a lot of cards that you can destroy for like some nice, I don't know, advantage. With the Perform Mage cards around, this card could be very, very dangerous. So I actually like this card a lot. This is definitely a good effect. It would have been nice if it searched any pendulum monster, because then you search Astrograph and then you explode because you just destroyed something. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but it does destroy itself. So that's what I don't really like. So you're not really truly going +1 or anything. The good news is the second effect kind of compensates for that. If this card in the monster zone is destroyed, you can place it in your pendulum zone. Not bad at all, so I'm gonna cut this card some slack. It's definitely the kind of card that looks like it has a lot of potential. Could open up the door to some nasty combos because, again, it searches pretty much anything. It's not like Skullcrobat Joker, which locks you under... It's only searching, like, well, only searching Odd Eyes Magician or Performapal Monsters, which is obviously still a lot. But, yeah, this card searches just about anything, which is pretty nice. Anyways, now let's get into the set spoiler of Age of Overlord. So as always, we know that there are 25 quarter-century secret rares, so 10 secrets and then 14 ultras, I believe. And then we got the one reprint, which is Magicians of Bond and Unity. Not a good card, but it's a cute card and it looks good. Anyways, now let's look for the secret rares. Which ones are they? The first one is TG Rocket Salamander. This card is irrelevant, nobody cares. Visa Samsara. Yeah, people keep hyping this card up and saying that it's tier 0 and stuff like that. I completely disagree. This card is, well, at least used to be much better in the OCG because they had Chaos Ruler. And this card was a 1-card Chaos Ruler, 1-card Curious, 1-card Everything, and even 1-card Zombie Vampire. Because you would have Chaos Ruler and then the Vicious Astrolaud. But this is no longer the case, unfortunately. So Visa Samsara is just so much worse when there is no Chaos Ruler around. Therefore, I'm not a really big fan of this card. I really don't think it's that good. It's really completely overrated. Yeah, not a fan at all. Anyways, the Abelstar, the Black Witch, this card is extremely good. Anywhere between a 1 of to a 2 of. This card will especially boost the Rescue Ace deck, but some other decks might be able to use it. Not in a good way, because all they really do is summon the Snake Eyes or Jet Synchron, which I don't think is overpowered, because again, there's no Chaos Ruler, and this card is a level 7, and the 1-for-1 spell summons Jet Synchron, so it would have been so good if Chaos Ruler was a thing, but it's not. So, yeah, unfortunately, this engine is kind of limited to only being very good in Rescue Ace, and that deck it's only really insane when the Turbo Lance gets to set 4. That's it. Otherwise, you're playing a really bad deck, I feel like. Anyway, Snake Eyes Flamberge Dragon. This card is also very unique. I think it's really interesting to see that it's a secret because it's only a 1 of, and in a lot of decks, it's not even played whatsoever. But it's a good card to like discard or like send from the field to the grave because then you get to revive back 2 level 1 fires from the grave. And that's not too bad. In the Infernoid deck, there's a lot of combos to be done with Snake Eyes Flamberge Dragon. So I do like this card. Anyways, Imseti Glory of Horus. This card is the broken one. This is a 3 of for sure, and it's a secret. It will be expensive. I can guarantee you that. On the other hand, Duamutef is just a 1 of, and it's not really good. Some decks do not even play it. So you should not be spending too much money on that one. Aras the Labyrinth Butler is a card that we used to overhype a little too much at first, and then we realized that maybe Kukulok might be a little more convenient. So even though Aras opens up the door to some nasty things, and it might be abused generically in like any deck that just plays a lot of normal trap cards, and you know, this card looks like it has a really insane bright future, it might not be the best right now because we already have a really good substitute in the form of Kukulok. So yeah, this card is good, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's like better. Even as a secret, it's not going to be worth too much money. Now this card is going to be worth so much money. I can guarantee you will be, you know, sacrificing your left arm to buy this card. SP Little Knight. This card is by far the best card in the set. Like, not even remotely close. Potentially the best Link monster to ever exist in the history of Yu-Gi-Oh! At least utility-wise. This card single-handedly power creeps Nightmare Phoenix and Cerberus and Unicorn. You get to banish a card on summon, which is insane, and you don't have to discard anything. It also has kind of like a double Farfa-esque effect built into it. You can do so many cool things with SP Little Knight. I absolutely love this card. Like I said, this card will get banned one day. It's just a matter of time. There is no way in hell this card can survive forever. And this card, even though it's like kind of like the sister or cousin of IP Masquerina, it actually has a lot of synergy with IP Masquerina. You can Masquerina into this card and then double interrupt your opponent with this card without, again, having to discard a card. This card is absolutely filthy. Anyways, TG Limiter Removal. It's a good card, but in the TG archetype, just like TG Rocket Salamander, but these cards are not going to see much play competitively, unless you're playing, you know, the TG cards as an engine. Now, this card, on the other hand, is, you know, the engine that everybody's going to be playing with the Abelstar. So 3 copies of Wanted is what you're looking at. This card searches your Diabellstar. Well, actually, it's the other way around. Diabellstar will get you... Oh, no, actually, no, it's... Yeah, this card gets you Diabellstar, then Diabellstar gets you the original Sinful, Spoils, Snake Eye, whatever, and then that summons your Hydrant, and then you get your stuff going. And this card also has a draw 1 effect in the graveyard, so it's pretty much like Engage. So yeah, out of the 10 secret rares, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 really good ones. And even then, this is like a one-of more often than not, so it's not going to be worth too much money. This is going to be really expensive, this is going to be expensive, and then SP Little Knight is going to be expensive, even though it's just a 1-of or a 2-of. It's never going to be a 3-of, realistically. But yeah, just a bunch of really good cards in this bracket, so definitely keep an eye out on them. Now, for the Ultra Rares, they're not as good, but they're still pretty decent. The first one is Vanquished Soul Jialong. This card is great in the Vanquished Soul deck. It's a new fire monster that you get to search with Horizon. Way better than Pluton, because Pluton is utter garbage. It's such a bad card. Jialong, you can reveal 2 fires and then search a Vanquished Soul card from your deck to your hand on either player's turn. So it's really nice, and again, it's just a better fire target to search, but it's just a 1-of. It kind of gets your stuff going if you have like a bunch of Ash in your hand. Yeah, it's just whatever. Yeah, it's a must to play in your deck though, and it's definitely not too bad. Anyways, Dark Hole Dragon, not great. Odd Eyes Archray Dragon, I don't even know what this card does, honestly. And then again, the TG cards are nice, definitely. Yeah, you're not trying to play TG. Again, it's just too old. Manadome Trisukda, that's the level 6 synchro that revives back a ball from the grave. It's really good, but it's just a card that you can summon like early on in your combo to go into Visa's Amritara. Everything else about this card is just kind of irrelevant, but it allows Riyama Heart to be a 1-card full combo, actually. I have made a video on this in the past, and it does utilize Synchro Rumble, which is in the set as well, so that's actually really cool. Anyways, the full Armored Xyz cards, very nice, but kind of a little gimmicky. You have to play a lot of bricks in order to make it work, so I don't know. But it's generic, actually. You can turn like any rank 3 monster into like get a lot of advantage out of nowhere, so it's pretty nasty. Anyways, we got Superstar Slayer Typhon Sky Crisis. This card is kind of like the new Zeus. Now you can be in like a really losing position, top deck like Effect Veiler, normal summon it, and then summon this card and just make a comeback. It will definitely see a lot of play in the future, and I don't think it's gonna get banned. It's not on the same level as SP Little Knight, but this card will definitely change the dynamics of the game completely, because now you know that when your opponent might summon this card, you have to just play differently, because you can't afford to summon a bunch of monsters with 3,000 or more attack, because they're all gonna get shut down by this card. And you know that trap decks are really good at summoning this card, because they don't really care too much about not being able to summon for the rest of the turn, because you are locked after you summon this card. They can just go like set 5 pass, and they can break your board with that. Yeah, really have to be careful about Typhon. It's a very scary card. Anyways, Infernal Flame Banshee. This is another very interesting card that I want to make a full video on. It's a rank 4 monster generic that can search any pyro monster from your deck to your hand. And I have a lot to say about this, so yeah, it's pretty disgusting. Anyways, Divine Temple of the Snake Eye. This is the field spell for Snake Eye. It's not great, but it's just a 1-of. It's whatever. And then Original Sinful Spoils Snake Eye. This is also a 1-of, but it's really good. This is the 1-for-1 that special summons a monster from the deck. And then we got the King's Sarcophagus, which is yet again another very good card. You are trying to play anywhere between 1 to 3 copies of this card in the Tier Laments deck, but more often than not, it's just a 1-of. This card is a must to play in order to revive back all of your Horus monsters, otherwise they all do nothing, obviously. And then Tainted of the Testina. I forgot what this card does, but it's not really relevant. And this card right here is broken. Testina, the divinity that defies darkness. It's a rank 10 monster, generic, and on special summon, not even on Xyz summon, you get to send every face down card your opponent controls to the grave. It's pretty nasty, and it also has a lot of other effects. So anyways, now for the super rares. So still a bunch of really nice cards that I want to cover. So Supreme King Gate Magician. This card is kind of like a 1-card combo that gets you to Zark access on your opponent's turn, and when you get to summon Zark, you get to destroy every single card on your opponent's board. And Zark is just a really scary card, so yeah, being able to summon it just like that super easily is pretty nasty. Yeah, okay, the original name was Veda Upanishad, now they changed it to Veda Kalarkanam. Yes, basically this card just allows a lot of turn-skipping combos to exist. It's pretty dangerous, but it's really fun, and I don't think it's going to matter that much. It's a cool card, but you can also play around it, so it has flaws for sure. Anyway, Snake Eye, Ash, Oak, Birch. Birch is not good, but then this one searches on the summon, and then this one is a monstery board, so both of them are pretty good, especially again in the Inferno deck. And then Happy Guidance of Horus. This card is much better than Kibis and Uef. Happy when your opponent makes one of your cards leave the field by a card effect, well, or destroy or something, I forgot, leave the field maybe. You get to recycle back 2 cards from your graveyard or banish to the hand, so it's not bad. And then Kibis and Uef is utter garbage, but it's just a name, so not too bad. And then the Ogdoadic, I forgot, this is irrelevant, but it's cool. This is a truly relevant card, Baphomet, the mythical king of phantom beasts. I'm gonna make a full video just on this card because it's really worth it. There are a lot of terrifying things that you can do with this, so yeah, very, very scary card. And then again, more TG cards. I already said I looked into them, and they're actually really, really good cards, even for today's standards, but it's just a very old deck, so like the old cards that you have to play in the TG decks it's just not good. Anyways, Xyz's Armor, again, you have to play a lot of bricks to make it work. Xyz the Pendulum, this card is a better Selene in the Pendulum deck, but it's unplayable outside, where Selene was just really generic. It was good in a lot of decks, but this card, in the actual Pendulum deck itself, especially if we get Electrum one day, it would be terrifying, because you get to recycle back Astrograph, and then you get to revive back a Pendulum monster, and you get to do so much with this card, it's crazy. And then Realm Elegy, this card actually got its name changed from like Planetary Eulogy or something like that. It's kind of like a negate, and then you destroy one of your monsters, and then it mentions Visa Starfrost again, so it's connected to the Veda lore, which is connected to Manadome, which is connected to Visa Starfrost. Like, it's all the same, and then obviously connected to Tirlabans, Kashtira, and Scareclaw. It's just a really nice lore, I love it. But yeah, this is still underdeveloped, the Veda cards. So yeah, this has the same problem. Fire Recovery, I forgot what this card did. Synchro Rumble. This card is the first good card that you can search off of Crimson Dragon. You have to play it. It does lock you under Synchro only for the rest of the turn, but you're usually using this at the end of your combo, and then you can Monster Reborn pretty much any tuner or Synchro monster from your grave, and it doesn't negate the effects, so that's actually really cool. Sinful Spools of Betrayal Silvera. This is a negate, if I recall correctly. It's not too bad. And No Pick Protector, this card sucks, and then everything else is irrelevant here. Supreme King Dragon Lightworm, I think this card's not too bad. And then we got a bunch of pretty useless cards. Master Tao the Chanter, this is an illusion monster. And then Shino Birds, completely irrelevant. Earthbound, whatever. I mean, like, there might be like a cool Earthbound engine that you can play, because it's kind of like a one card, I don't know, level 8 Synchro or like some other stuff. But again, there's no Chaos Ruler, so it's kind of irrelevant. There's pretty much like a tour guide in the deck, but it's not that worth it anymore. And then a bunch of cards that I don't think are going to be super relevant. A lot of garbage cards like Card Scanner. This is so ass. I don't even know what this is. Soul of the Supreme Celestial King. I think this is the trap card that summons the Zark, so it's definitely really cool. And then, yeah, Testina, Midnight Philly. This card sucks. Loka Samsara. I think this is the trap card that summons a hard monster from the extra deck. I might be wrong, but yeah, either way, I know that it doesn't matter anymore because Arise Art is banned, so yeah, some of these cards are dead anyways. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video, so guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and let me know your thoughts about Age of Overlord in the comment section below, and I will see you guys very soon. Peace.